Greg Backer, the naturopath from New Zealand. Thank you for coming back. People say, why do you keep saying you come from New Zealand? That's because I like New Zealand. Right, let's keep going. Why should you start eating more beans? You think eating beans is a good idea? You think it's only something you see in those slapstick westerns when guys are sitting there with plates of beans and, you know, all those Mexican girls running around and stuff? No, it's not just that you see on those slapstick kind of westerns. It's not just something from Mexican cantinas and stuff like that. This is good food, seriously good food. What I love about beans, my mum's favourite saying was, they're good and they're cheap. Okay, that's a Jewish saying, something good and something's cheap. But beans are exceptionally good for your health, and they're bloody cheap. They cost hardly anything to buy. That's the crazy thing. That's the weird thing about good health. Some of the best foods you can eat have got the cheapest price. Okay, so you don't have to be Rockefeller to have good health. In fact, some of the healthiest people I know are some of the poorest people. Isn't that crazy? So why are beans so good? Beans have got many virtues about them in terms of their properties that they give to you. One of the most important ones is they're full of iron, they're full of folate, and they're full of manganese, and they're full of minerals, also vitamins. So they're really packed full of nutritional goodness. They're dry, you can store them. You can store them a long time, for years. They're cheap as hell, all right? The darkest beans are the best. So black peas, really dark ones, have got the highest polyphenol or antioxidant content. So it's very good to eat the darker beans. Soaking them is a good thing to do. Pressure cooking is what I generally do with beans. You can make fantastic meals with them. The fiber content is phenomenal on beans, right? Very high fiber, and this is what the beneficial bacteria like to grow on. So when you eat beans, of course, large components of the beans won't get broken down because there's a bit of starch in them. Okay, and there's also resistant starch in them, so which is really good for pushing up the counts of the bifidobacteria in the large intestine especially. So you're going to say, I'm not eating beans. I don't want to fart like a horse constantly. And that's because you're not used to eating beans. If you start with a small amount and very slowly increase it over a period of weeks and a few months, you will not, be constantly farting because you eat beans, all right? You don't need to be called bugle bum, okay? If you are a bugle bum, it probably means you've been eating other kind of foods, and all of a sudden you're launching into, increasing a lot of beans in your diet. Like anything you do, start slow, very gradually. Even if you were to make up a salad like you normally would make up, but you would add, say, 5 or 10 pinto beans, into that you've cooked. Just even like a small dessert spoon of beans, you'd mix through it. And then slowly over a period of weeks, you'd build the bean count up, right? Beans are great for blood sugar also, blood sugar balancing, and they're fantastic for heart health and cardiovascular health. And the reason being is because they give you a high protein load and high fiber. They fill you up, and you're not getting all that meat and fat and all that crap that comes with the meat. So many reasons why beans are such a good food. So what was the topic again? You should be eating beans. Why should you consider beans if you've got a gut problem? I think probably one of the most important reasons is because of the fiber content, the high mineral and vitamin content, and also the fact that these things also affect the appetite quite positively. So when you eat a good bean meal, you feel full for a long period of time, and that means your gut is going to be able to break that food down, digest it without constantly having to get other food dumped on top of it. So it aids in digestion significantly. But I'll just reiterate, if you're not used to eating beans, start very slowly and build up over a period of time. You'll be surprised how many people eat beans every day and are not called bugle bum. Okay. Thanks for tuning in.